Ladies and gentlemen, with us now is a very special guest. His name is Mr. Abdullah Abdurrahman Al-Muhaysin. Born in Mecca in the year 1946, he received his main education in Saudi Arabia, Egypt and Lebanon. He then continued his academic training and education at Gloucester College of Arts and Design in Great Britain during the years 1968 till 1972. It was then followed at the Film School in London. In the year 1975, he received a high diploma for cinema directing, in addition to many honorable positions back home in his country, where he established a Transworld Production Company. He has produced so far 212 films, through which Islamic, Arabic, national and progressive issues are discussed. Mr. Abdullah Al-Muhaysin, good evening and welcome to Syria.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's obvious from your background that you have a fulfilling life in cinema. What can you tell us about this experience?
I'm still learning, as I say. Actually, I started in 1975, 76, and it has been very interesting during that period until now. And I feel that I still have too much obligation to carry and a lot to participate on, and I hope I can do that.
Your participation in this festival is through the film Shock. Can you give us a brief idea about the theme of this film?
The film, obviously, the name in a translation of the name is Shock, and it is called Al-Sadma in Arabic, and it is built on the idea of the result of the Gulf War, and it meant to be a sort of re-evaluation in the Arab world for all our defaults, and trying to work out our problems by building a proper attitude towards our future problems. And I tried to contribute this film and to say that the war is a sad thing, and it is a very pity thing that it had to happen in our environment, but there is a problem that had to be dealt with, and it has been dealt with, and it is not something that we are proud of. We are all sad of it, but let's take the lesson from it.
It's obvious that your film Shock is a continuation of your previous works, that of Rape of the City and Islam, the Bridge of the Future. And in Shock precisely, you have approached, that is establishing peace, justice and, what shall we say, stability in the Arab region. How did you approach the three aims in your film? What method did you follow?
I've always been calling for that concept. I've been always calling for a wake-up and rise in the Arab world, to be a sort of, we have a lot of things to give to the world, and we have been, over the last 15 years, lost due to standing on different attitude and not trying to look at one perspective. And all my films has been calling for uniting our perspective and trying to look at our own personal problems and try to develop them and put them right. So that's the common denominator in my films. And I'm looking at the human element in the Arab world and the suffering that it has been through, whether it's in Lebanon, whether it's in the Muslim world, whether it's in Afghanistan, whether it's in Morocco. I think it's the same. It's due to a situation that this environment is being through, and it has to wake up and it has to realize its role into the international community and contribute by looking far rather than to just debate ridiculous right or left ideas which I object to. And that's how I tackled my subject.
It's obvious, due to your prosperous lifetime, that you've been to many film festivals. How would you evaluate the Damascus Film Festival?
I say any festival in the Arab world that gather filmmakers and is a center for exchanging of ideas, I support it. whether it is perfect or whether it is still not to that standard, because it is a place where culture meets, where people contribute ideas, where people debate, and it is a place for filmmakers to see each other once a while and exchange ideas and philosophies and debate their techniques. Therefore, I encourage any festival and I support it, whether it is international or just beginning one.
Mr. Abdullah al-محيسن, have you seen any Arabic films during your stay in Syria and attending this festival?
Yes, I have seen a few. I am looking all around the programs and I saw quite a few films and there are quite interesting ones around.
Over the past few years, do you actually believe that there is some kind of development or progress in the Arab industry of films?
No doubt the development is there, and as I said before, that if we don't develop, we have a problem. And I think if I look at few of the films that I've seen or I made, and like anybody else, there is some kind of change and development, and that requires obviously support and requires encouragement from the public for these films, because most likely most of those films are a type of films that needs the support and spirit, and any experiment in the Arab world, I'm supporter 100% for it.
Mr. Abdullah al-محيسن, since you are the founder and president of Transworld Production Company back in Saudi Arabia, which is well known for its brilliant and outstanding works concerning that of children and adults, what is the company's policy in producing, directing or choosing these works?
Oh, the policy of the company obviously to pick the right films, the right scripts, the right stories that it can contribute to its society. And due to the situation in this environment, we feel that we are obliged towards the public, towards the children, towards the whole society of the Arab world, because we are producer of a product that has value, thinking value, and cultural value. Therefore, due to my responsibility of that company, I feel that most likely that most of our work should carry that obligation. Therefore, in our policy, we are most concerned about our product to contribute to its society, to this Arab world, and we are carrying that responsibility, and it's a big responsibility. It's not an easy one.
So what have you done concerning the education of the Arabic child, or children in particular?
Oh, for the children is our future, and one has to think seriously about them due to the shortage of facilities available in the Arab world for the children. They need to be brought up right. They need to have the right programs that can develop their talent, develop their imagination, develop their thinking. And whether it's animation or whether it's little dramas. And we have contributed with the first animation films in 77. And it was Arabic series. And we tried to produce them, to contribute, to distribute them in the Arab world, but their cost was very, very high. And we found resentment for paying such a price for a program. We have suffered a lot to find another solution. And we started to contribute in dubbing certain programs and picking and choosing some of those programs that can give the child education and entertainment also. It's important to educate and entertain rather than to make the storyboard for the children. Exactly. And that's what we did, and that's our responsibility. And we're really putting all our effort to it. And I hope we succeed in it.
We hope all the best. Now, in your opinion, how can you reach the message you behold within to those behind the screen, that is the audience? What method do you follow in doing that, in achieving this? It's a very hard thing to do.
You know, it's difficult in any form of art to satisfy that vast perspective of audience, because you have different ideas, appreciation, taste, and so on. We can't claim that we are trying to do that. One has to claim the fact that he's doing his best to satisfy the audience by finding the right script, by finding the right story, by executing it the right way, and developing the right themes to make it interesting. That's in our environment is very, very difficult due to the lack of finding really massive choice of number of professional people available. So that is another obstacle. But we try by, though we produce a number of programs compared to what we should produce, but the reason by producing number is due to the lack of enough material. But we do our best, and we hope the audience can say they are up to their standard. We never look at the audience down. We respect every specter of our society, and we feel that he has the right to look at our programs, and we never undermine him at all. And maybe that's one of the reasons that...
This is very obvious in all your works. Now, Mr. Abdullah Al-محيسن, can you tell us what is the language you deal with or the steps you follow when directing a film, especially that concerning editing, music and sound?
You mean in my films or in our...
Yes, in your films.
My personal films. And I hate to say my, but they are. They're my children.
You should be proud of them. They're wonderful.
Actually, I always deal with my films seriously due to the subject, because I'm not, you could say, a professional filmmaker. I deal with film as a hobby. I'm lucky compared to many other producers in the Arab world or directors, due to I choose my own subject and I sponsor my own subject. And having that opportunity or chance make me picky and choosy with my subjects. And it also tie my hands more, because it means that anything that I do, I will be blamed for, because nothing is being imposed on me. Therefore, I try to pick the right subject that I feel that it contributes to our society. And I mean our society, I feel I'm an Arab, I'm from Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is the center of the Arab and the center of Islam. Therefore, this whole vast area, we feel that it is part of us, and we feel that we are obliged to them as much as they are obliged to us. And that has been reflected in the Gulf War due to unknown thing to people, that this country means so much to the world, Islamic world and the Arab world, as much as the Islamic and Arab world means so much to us. Therefore, I try to pick subjects that does not isolate me from this society. My techniques on most of my films that I have dealt with until now is based on utilizing stock shots and due to the subjects that I picked, I always try to pick the subject and then specify the tools that I have to convey that subject with, whether I should use dramatization or whether I should use a document. And I try to take that document from its own form and insert it in a theme of form where it conveys my message. And that is where it requires a lot of choice, a lot of digging, and homework has to be done. And the style of editing has to be well thought, where you feel that every frame is a word and every sequence is a sentence. If you take one word, the sequence is missing. So that's where I use the style of editing, the style of...
How do you choose your music?
Music, I normally compose music due with a composer. I sit with him and give him as much as I give any of our staff time to understand the theme. So I try to convey the music to make it complement the picture. And I develop the missing element in the picture. I try to let the music give you the feeling of it. So at least it gives you the second perspective of the picture. The sound normally, commentary, in Al-Sadma or the shock, I have changed in the technique of documentary a bit due to that normally sound come as a guide. Here I made it as a third perspective, where third dimension, where it comes a part of, dramatize it, where it becomes as a part of the picture, where you feel that the picture is speaking to you, the event is delivering you to what it feels and what it says. So that's the style I used. I hope it can be reached by the audience, and I hope it can be appreciated. And it's till tomorrow.
Tomorrow will be screened. The film will be screened.
Tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the evening, and I hope by then I will be able to test the audience and know whether I have done something worthwhile or not. That's up to the public, obviously.
No doubt you have achieved something wonderful concerning the title. It's enough to hear the title and it'll do good, I think.
It is a subject that concerns us as an Arab, and the Gulf War, many people has made films about it, but they made it as a heroic job. For us, it's completely different. What has happened is a very, very sad story, and we are neighbors and we are nations that live together through history. And this film is trying to put things right to the people of that area and tell them the fact of the problem, that it is not us as a people. And I hope it's there.
Mr. Abdullah al-Muhaysin, we wish you all the progress and prosperity life can offer. It has been both a privilege and an honor interviewing you. Thank you very much and welcome once more.
It's the same to me, and I'm glad that I've been to Damascus. It's my second home. And I hope that the audience would see the film and through them I would feel whether I've done something or not. And thanks again for giving me that opportunity. Thanks.
You have done something wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.